Chapter 13. The warm sun of early June bathed Dalhousie's campus in golden light. The Rebecca Cohn Auditorium stood proud against the clear sky, banners fluttering gently in the ocean breeze from the nearby Halifax waterfront. Today was spring convocation, a day of endings and beginnings. Declan sat in the bleachers, heart pounding with anticipation. His parents sat beside him, their faces full of pride. To his left were Azalea's family, buzzing with excitement, and further down sat Emily, Priya, and Liam, the friends who had been through everything with them. They had all graduated last year. Today was Azalea's day. Down below, the graduates marched in to a swell of music. A sea of black gowns and caps filled the rows of chairs. Declan scanned the crowd until his eyes found her. There she was. Azalea moved gracefully among the graduates, her black gown flowing around her with a quiet dignity. Beneath it, the soft hem of a white dress peeked out, simple and elegant. On her feet were the pink sandals she'd worn the night Declan had confessed his love to her by the waterfront bench, a small, beautiful reminder of how far they'd come. Her cap sat perfectly atop her dark hair, the golden tassel swaying lightly. Even from this distance, Declan could see her smile as she glanced up at the crowd, at him. My girl, Declan thought, pride swelling in his chest. She made it. Suddenly, the peaceful moment shattered. Jake and Max, Azalea's brothers, barreled into the row like a chaotic hurricane, both holding oversized sodas and a massive tub of popcorn despite being told not to. Jake plopped down beside Declan with a dramatic sigh, immediately elbowing him in the ribs. "Front row view of greatness, huh?" Jake declared loudly. "Man, I should have brought a banner." Max almost tripped over someone's foot and caught himself at the last second. "Relax, Jake," he said with mock seriousness. "The only banner you're bringing is one that says I embarrassed my sister today." Azalea's father groaned. "Boys, please behave for once." Jake ignored him completely, cupping his hands to his mouth like an announcer. "Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, the queen of academics, the pride of our family. Azalea." Azalea froze mid-step. Slowly, she turned and spotted her brothers. Even from here, Declan could feel the daggers in her glare. Yet despite the embarrassment, Azalea smiled, shaking her head as if to say of course they would do this, her love for them shining through even in the chaos. Emily burst into laughter. Priya covered her face in mortification, and Liam leaned toward Declan, whispering, "They're like characters straight out of a sitcom." Declan chuckled softly, shaking his head. Whatever this is, it's next-level chaos. The lights dimmed slightly as the announcer's voice filled the auditorium, solemn and steady. Families leaned forward, cameras ready, waiting for their graduate's name to be called. Declan's heart beat in rhythm with every passing moment. Azalea sat perfectly straight among the rows of black gowns, her hands folded tightly in her lap. He could almost feel her excitement and nerves from here. Then it happened. Azalea Bennett. The announcer's voice rang out across the auditorium, revealing her last name for the very first time. Declan's breath caught as her name filled the room. It sounded so right, so proud, like a promise of everything she had accomplished and everything still to come. Before polite applause could even begin, Jake and Max detonated like fireworks. "Yeah, that's our girl," Jake screamed, leaping to his feet and waving his soda like a victory flag. Half of it splashed dangerously close to Declan's mom, who dodged it just in time. "Azalea, Azalea," Max chanted, pounding the metal bleacher railing like a drum. Popcorn flew everywhere, showering the rows below. A grandmother 2 rows down got a kernel stuck in her hair. Azalea froze mid-step on the stage stairs, her face turning scarlet. She mouthed, "Oh, my God," while trying to maintain her dignity, but even then she couldn't stop a small, amused smile from tugging at her lips. Emily clutched her stomach, laughing uncontrollably. Priya groaned, muttering, "We're going to get thrown out." Liam was snickering so hard he couldn't even speak. Declan, though, was focused entirely on Azalea. The chaos blurred into background noise as she crossed the stage. Their eyes met, and the world went still. In that shared glance was every challenge, every triumph, every moment that had led to this day. The ceremony ended, and the courtyard outside the Rebecca Cohn Auditorium erupted into joyous pandemonium. Camera flashes lit up like fireworks, and laughter rose into the warm spring air. Jake and Max's voices were hoarse from cheering so loudly, leaving them unusually quiet as they clutched bottles of water. Their antics now came in the form of goofy grins and silent high-fives. Jake climbed onto a bench, holding Azalea's diploma high like it was a championship trophy. "Behold," he croaked dramatically, "proof my sister is officially smarter than both of us combined, which, let's be real, isn't hard." Max fake sobbed into Emily's shoulder with an exaggerated sniffle. "She's leaving us for the world of responsibility. Who's going to help me hide the evidence when Jake blows up the microwave again?" "That was your popcorn," Jake rasped back. Azalea covered her face with both hands. "I can't take them anywhere." Declan slipped an arm around her shoulders and kissed the top of her head. "They just love you in their own, very loud way." She peeked at him through her fingers. "Weird is more like it," she muttered, though she couldn't hide her smile. Declan's parents joined the group, hugging Azalea warmly. His mother's eyes glistened as she said, "We're so proud of you, Azalea. Tomorrow's going to be such a beautiful day." Azalea's parents added their congratulations, their pride clear as they embraced both Azalea and Declan. For a moment, it felt like the families had always been connected, laughter mingling with love in a perfect harmony. The group piled into their vehicles for the trip to the wooden monkey Dartmouth. Azalea drove her car with Declan in the passenger seat, while Emily, Priya, and Liam squeezed into the back seat, chatting excitedly. Behind them, Jake and Max rode in their parents' Honda Odyssey, still tired from their earlier chaos, their voices barely more than whispers now. Declan's parents followed calmly in his dad's car. As they crossed the Angus L. MacDonald Bridge, the Halifax skyline shimmered behind them, lights reflecting on the harbor below. Declan stole a glance at Azalea as she drove, her focus steady, her expression glowing with pride. When they arrived, the warm glow of the wooden monkey welcomed them. The rustic wooden tables and cozy lighting made it the perfect setting for family and friends to gather. Declan sat beside Azalea, their knees brushing beneath the table, a quiet anchor amid the noise. Max stood dramatically, lifting his glass like a performer on stage. "A toast to my sister, the one person in this family who can spell onomatopoeia," Azalea groaned. "Max." Jake sprang up beside him, stealing the spotlight. "And to me, for cheering louder than anyone in Dalhousie history." "My voice cracked for her, that's love," Max snorted. "Your voice cracked because you hit puberty late." The whole table erupted into laughter, even Azalea despite herself. Declan sat quietly for a moment, watching her laugh beneath the soft glow of the restaurant lights. Her black gown was folded neatly over her chair, her white dress flowing softly beneath the table, and those familiar pink sandals peeked out like a secret meant just for him. His hand drifted to his pocket, feeling the outline of the ring he'd hidden there. Soon, he thought. Very soon. After dinner, the group stepped outside into the cool Dartmouth night. Street lamps glimmered overhead, casting warm pools of light on the sidewalks near the waterfront. Cars were parked along the street, ready to take everyone home after a long but beautiful day. "Can you believe we've all graduated now?" Emily asked, her voice tinged with nostalgia. Priya nodded softly. "It feels like the end of an era." Declan smiled, his heart full. "We did it, all of us." Nearby, Jake and Max were still quietly debating, their voices raspy but determined. "I clearly cheered louder," Jake whispered. "My voice cracked 3 times," Max shot back hoarsely. "That's dedication, bro." Azalea groaned. "Declan, please tell me there's a store where I can trade them in for quieter siblings." Declan laughed and drew her into his arms, silencing her mock complaint with a kiss. It was slow and deep, filled with every moment they'd shared and every promise yet to come. When they broke apart, he whispered, "I love you." Azalea's eyes shimmered. "I love you too." As their families said goodnight and prepared to make the drive back to Halifax, Declan's fingers brushed the pocket where the engagement ring rested. He glanced at Azalea, her black gown folded neatly over her arm, her pink sandals softly tapping the pavement, and felt a rush of certainty. Tomorrow, he thought, tomorrow everything changes. The core group had all officially graduated, including Declan himself. Azalea, the last to walk the stage, completed the circle they had started together. Surrounded by friends, family, and 2 brothers whose antics could fill an entire sitcom, they celebrated the close of one chapter and braced for the thrilling beginning of the next. Hawaii, the proposal, and a lifetime of memories waiting to unfold.